Steve Willis was in this very studio.
Oh, really?
And our newsreader, who's not here this week, otherwise I'd introduce you to him, Tony Tardio, he does 35 push-ups after each bulletin on the hour.
Really?
And
That's
Steve,
so
they had a bit of a
cool.
competition, and guess who came out the least puffed? Tony.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing, but that little bit of exercise,
30,
obviously, he's playing up.
35, did you say?
Yes, and he's on between midday and 8 o'clock.
And he does it every day, every hour,
Every hour.
an hour.
He disappears behind the glass there and gets himself fit.
That's so good. He's obviously very conditioned for that.
He
Especially
is.
if
He was
Steve
so
Willis was
proud of
left
himself.
huffing and puffing.
He beat the big commando.
I love it.
Tell us about this series and tell us about the history of this 2.5 kilo burrito.
Well, this series is TBL Families. It starts on Sunday night on Channel 10, and this is the 10th season. I love working on this show. I'm very passionate about it, and this season has just been an absolute blast to work with some really cool families that have challenged us, that have been transparent and honest enough to open their lives up to us and talk about some pretty taboo subjects and things that a lot of people try to sweep under the carpet. And that's why I love the show, is because these are the kinds of things that come out on TV that we don't often get a chance to really address.
Are there families who have got to a point where they say, we've really got to do something about our life, and they put themselves up?
Oh, yeah, everybody auditions. So I hate to say it, but there's no lack of contestants out there in Australia. We've got a pretty big obesity crisis on our hands. And, these contestants are there for a reason. They're not there to be on TV or to get famous or to do anything else other than to transform their lives and turn them around. So the family that I have is the Joffrey family. I love them dearly. They're great guys. They're from Melbourne. So, there it is already.
This 2.5, you ate one of these 2.5 kilo burritos. There's a competition at this restaurant.
Yeah, well, what happens is we go out and live with our families for the first week that we meet them. And we get to be in their life. We get to see how they live, see what they do, what they don't do, what they eat. And so my family took me out to a Mexican restaurant that they go to where they do this 2.5 kilo burrito each. Brought it in for you to have a look at. It's absolutely ridiculous. It would feed a family of 8.
So they would have one
Each.
each.
Yes, and I was presented with my own. Which I
So you
just
had
sat
to.
there staring at it, thinking, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, I know I'm pregnant at the moment, so
Looks like a weapon.
no pun intended, but it absolutely is the size of a newborn child. Like, seriously, that is just ludicrous. And I know I'm having a bit of a laugh about it, just seeing it here right now, but the sad state of affairs is that this is the reality of what's going on out there. There are people out there in Australia who are eating like this, maybe not eating like that, but certainly eating some of the junk and the fast food and the no nutrition, high calorie density food.
But some of that food, that heavily processed food, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that people become sort of addicted to that style.
Absolutely. No, you're bang on. They do become addicted to it. It becomes an addiction.